The battle rages closer. The sounds of machine guns and explosions threaten to shatter the fragile peace within the church. The German counterattack begins. The village is once again the epicenter of a brutal, close-quarters battle.
June 6, 1944. The largest invasion in history begins. Airborne troops drop into the heart of occupied France.
German anti-aircraft fire erupts. The night sky is torn apart by a deadly, crisscrossing storm of flak and bullets.
Misdrops and fierce resistance scatter the men of the 101st Airborne, landing them deep behind enemy lines.
Among the chaos, 2 men of the Screaming Eagles land. Medics Wright and Moore begin their impossible mission. The German defense is immediate and brutal. Every hedgerow hides a deadly ambush for the isolated paratroopers.
The medics ignore the battle raging around them. Their only focus is the wounded, their duty absolute.
Dawn breaks over Normandy. The fighting intensifies as the scattered American forces attempt to consolidate their positions.
The village of Angoville-au-Plain becomes a deadly crossroads, a critical point in the battle for the Cotentin Peninsula.
They identify the 12th century church. It is the only sanctuary, the only hope for the rapidly growing number of casualties. The church becomes a temporary aid station. The medics begin the grim, relentless work of saving lives. A sacred boundary is drawn. The Red Cross is painted, declaring the church a neutral zone of mercy and healing.
The first test. A German patrol arrives, their orders to clear the area, but they respect the international symbol. Wright confronts the enemy, his only weapon his medical bag. He signals the church is for the wounded only.
An unspoken truce is established. The laws of war, for a moment, hold sway over the brutal reality of the battlefield.
The work is non-stop. The medics treat shrapnel wounds, broken bones, and the terrible cost of the airborne assault. The enemy arrives. A wounded German is brought in, his life now dependent on the same American hands.
The medics see no uniform, only suffering. Their oath to save lives transcends the bitter conflict outside.
Supplies are running low. The medics must ration every bandage, every drop of medicine to treat the growing numbers.
The battle rages closer. The sounds of machine guns and explosions threaten to shatter the fragile peace within the church. The medics remain focused. They are the calm center of the storm, their hands steady despite the surrounding violence.
A moment of grace. The shared ordeal creates a bond, a temporary suspension of their national loyalties.
The truce is fragile. Not all German soldiers respect the Red Cross, viewing the church as a tactical target.
The sanctuary is breached. A stray round pierces the window, a stark reminder of the danger outside the walls.
The medics continue their work, refusing to be intimidated by the incoming fire or the growing threat of attack. The battle shifts. Heavy German armor moves into the village, preparing to crush the remaining American resistance.
Faith endures. In the face of death, soldiers from both sides seek solace in the ancient, quiet walls of the church.
Resourcefulness is key. The medics improvise with limited tools, turning scraps into life-saving medical equipment.
The truce is broken. A rogue German soldier enters, ignoring the Red Cross, threatening the fragile peace.
Wright stands his ground.
He confronts the armed enemy, protecting his patients with nothing but his moral authority.
Moore prepares for the worst. The medics are ready to break their non-combatant status to protect the helpless wounded.
The moral force prevails. The soldier retreats, unable to violate the sanctity of the church and the Red Cross.
The danger passes, but the incident proves the medics must remain vigilant, their sanctuary constantly under threat.
Shared humanity emerges. The common enemy of pain and fear unites the soldiers in a silent, powerful bond.
Wright risks her life for comfort. She braves the incoming fire to gather materials to keep the wounded warm.
The sanctuary is shaken. The ancient stone walls tremble under the force of the artillery and the intense fighting.
Moore maintains order. He directs the wounded to safety, his calm demeanor preventing a full-scale panic.
The enemy seeks refuge. A German soldier, desperate for aid, crawls into the very heart of the American position.
No hesitation. Wright immediately prioritizes the most critical wound, regardless of the uniform or the allegiance.
The flag of mercy endures. Despite the violence, the symbol of neutrality remains a beacon of hope in the chaos.
The medics use every resource. The church itself provides the materials needed to save the lives of the wounded. The battle for the village rages. The German forces fight desperately to hold their ground against the American advance. Small acts of kindness continue. The medics treat their enemies with the same dignity as their own comrades.
Thanks a lot, bro.
Exhaustion sets in. The medics have worked for days without sleep, driven only by their unwavering commitment to life.
Move up! Move up! Get to that doorway! Watch the windows! Covering fire! Go! Go!
The Germans fall back. They fight a brutal rearguard action, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake.
Wright braves the crossfire. He risks her life one last time to bring a fallen comrade into the safety of the church.
The German wounded listen to the end of the battle. Their fate now rests entirely in the hands of the victorious Americans.
The Americans arrive. They enter the church, expecting a fight, but find a scene of impossible, shared humanity.
The sight is unbelievable. American and German wounded, side by side. A testament to the medics' unwavering neutrality.
Moore makes no explanation. His actions speak louder than any words, demanding respect for the sanctuary.
Please subscribe.
The infantryman understands. He immediately joins the mission of mercy, respecting the medics' impossible truce.
The war is over for the wounded. American soldiers now tend to their former enemies, united by the medics' example. The medics finally rest. Their mission is complete. Their incredible, selfless duty finally recognized by their comrades.
The wounded are evacuated. The German soldiers are taken as prisoners, but their lives were saved by their enemy. The silence returns. The church is empty. a silent testament to the 3 days of relentless, life-saving work. The medics clean up the carnage. They restore the church, leaving behind only the memory of their incredible actions.
The village is ruined, but the church stands, a powerful symbol of the humanity that survived the destructive force of war. The medics move on. They leave behind a legacy of mercy, a story that would be told for generations to come.
They rejoin the fight, but their actions in the church have already earned them a place in the history of the war.
Robert Wright, a man who saw no enemy, only a fellow human being in desperate need of medical aid.
Kenneth Moore, the quiet strength who ensured the sanctity of the church was never violated by the raging battle.
Bloodstained remain, silent reminder.
The Red Cross held. It was a symbol of hope that transcended the hatred and the violence of the war.
The German veterans remember. They speak of the American medics who treated them as brothers, not as enemies.
They return to the quiet. Two men who, in the heart of the battle, prove that humanity can always triumph over hatred.
Their incredibly brave actions on that day saved many men, both American and German, in the heat of battle.
The relief is complete. The medics hand over their patients, their 3-day ordeal finally coming to an end.
The village is rebuilt, but the memory of the Angels of Mercy remains, etched into the history of Normandy.
Robert Wright and Kenneth Moore, two names that define the true meaning of heroism in the face of absolute war. The font of life, a sacred object turned into a life-saving tool, symbolizing the medic's ultimate sacrifice.
They are the Angels of Mercy. Their story is a powerful reminder of the light that shines brightest in the darkest of times.
This is the history of the men who fought, not for victory, but for the sanctity of every human life.